Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Triumphant Show. I am your host, Sherida Lovelace, and I'm telling you, I am super excited about tonight's show. I am excited about the wealth, catch that word, the wealth of information we are going to hear and receive on tonight. But listen, before we get started, I want to again formally welcome you to the show. I want to welcome those that are catching us live and on demand. I want to welcome those who are watching or catching the replay from another country. May God richly bless you and keep you. And we are excited that God divinely assigned you to listen in and tune in on tonight's broadcast. Listen, as many of you know that have been following the show for the last several years, we are based on scripture out of 2 Corinthians 2 and 14. And I just want to remind you what it says. It says, "But thanks be to God who always leads us in triumph in Christ and manifests through us the sweet aroma of knowledge of him in every place." And I love that scripture because it tells us that, you know what, God always gets the glory. He is victorious over and over again. So no matter what we go through or no matter what things happen in our lives, God gets the victory. So you remember that. You let that spirit meditate in your spirit on this week, because this is a week of expectancy. You know, there's so much going on in the world right now. I mean, we could sit here for 10-15 minutes and name everything, but at the end of the day, we just want to keep praying for our nation, and we just want to believe that God is moving in the midst of those that are in need in whatever capacity that they are around this entire world. So I do want to make sure that I put that out there and you keep that in mind. All right, so for those of you that are new to the show, or if you just need a little reminder, I want to remind you, you can follow me on all social media platforms as you catch the show. Of course, we're on Twitter. You can catch that at Sherida Lovelace. Watch, I'm going to make it easy for you. You can catch that at Sherida Lovelace. You can follow me and subscribe on YouTube. Welcome our YouTube visitors at S Lovelace TV. Even on Instagram at, again, Sherida Lovelace. And listen, if you too want to be a guest on the show, you can definitely send me an email at SheridaLovelace@gmail.com and let us know your triumphant story. We're excited to hear from you. We're excited about what God's going to do. Would do in your life, and we want to hear it. We want you to equip us and educate us and bring a victory to our week as well. So make sure you send an email. Right now, we want to make sure that you send like and follow and share this broadcast. Again, it's going to be phenomenal on tonight. I'm excited about what God is doing. And I just want to welcome everybody in here. So kick your shoes off. Listen, grab your hot tea. I don't know if you had dinner already and you having your dessert, which is a piece of pie, whatever it is. Come on in and hang out with us for a little while, because I have a phenomenal guest on tonight. So listen, without further delay, I want to go into my guest for tonight so that we can just have a good time and just discuss what God is doing. And, you know, it's so ironic how God sets things up the way he does. And even for this show, because we're in a season where we see a lot of things taking place, not only in the world, but within our own individual lives. And it's so important for us as individuals to be built up and prepare, but also to know who's already gone through the process, to know who's doing what. And when I was preparing for this show, God brought to my remembrance this book I have called The Gatekeepers, right? And so what was so phenomenal about this book is that it made me think of my guest on tonight. There's an author that wrote this. His name is Nathaniel Wolf, and it's called The Gatekeepers, literally. And one thing he says is that gatekeepers are portals of provision, a bridge from one realm to another. In other words, they help finance on earth. They help bring forth a wealth. There's so much more that gatekeepers do. We know there's so much more that God does. That kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But when we think about what is happening in these days and times, this topic and this understanding in terms of how we move as individuals, as believers, as faith walkers, even as unbelievers, and you just want to keep walking that walk and develop and grow, this is the season. The time is now. Listen, we're going to hear about visions, because the word of God says to write the vision and make it plain. But it also says to seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto us. So we're going to talk a little bit about tonight, because tonight I just want to speak forth a gatekeeper blessing on those that are going to be listening and watching or catching the replay, to let you know that whatever is in you, I pray that God begins to stir up that gifting in you, and that you begin to connect with the people like my guest success that can stir these giftings in you and allow you to be prosperous and successful in whatever the God designed gift he has deposited in your life. So listen, let me tell you, I have a triple threat on my broadcast tonight. Her name is Kim Roundtree, and I'm so excited to have her. Let me give you a little bit of a background about her, and then we're going to hear from her herself. But she is what we consider, and what she says, she's a serial entrepreneur, a business expert. She's an empowerment speaker. I mean, she's an award-winning speaker, has spoken over maybe 100 plus, probably by now, platforms to people, even internationally, graced many stages. She has an online show that she's going to be talking about. She's had one previously called Minding Your Business, but we're going to hear a little bit about what is to come. I'm excited about that. And I love the fact, listen to me, because family, I want you to get this. She works with people who have the faith to remove the top 2 passion killers so they can discover, activate, package, and price their services and products. What's your service and your product? What has God given you? What is God stirring in you? What are you waiting on? Who stopped you? We're going to talk about all that tonight, because not only do we need to walk in our faith and walk in whatever we're doing, we've got to walk believing that God has given us more, and we have tools inside of us that need to be used, especially in this season. Let me tell you, this woman of God, she has been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades. She's a previous co-owner of 4 mental health facilities in Louisiana. She's currently co-ownership with the Solace Group, a mental health consulting company. We're going to hear a little bit about that tonight. But she has these programs. We're going to show you how you can see how you can sign up and get her to you, whether it's one-on-one coaching, whether you want to do the Passionate CEO workshop, whether you want to be a part of the online programs. The knowledge and the bucket of harvest is here on tonight on the Triumphant Show, and you're going to find out how to get this and get connected with her so you can take advantage of the gifts that are within you. She's Momentum Publishing. We're going to hear a little bit about that, if that's still operating and how that's going. Excited about that. And also her 501c3 Green Tree Economic Development Corp, training for economically disadvantaged communities, and the importance of entrepreneurship. And so I'm excited about that. But the key of that, and just for us tonight, y'all, the importance of entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter if you're in your 9 to 5 right now. It doesn't matter if you're mom with 2 kids running around, you're married, whatever it is. There's something in you that this woman of God knows how to pull out so that you can live your best life. Listen, God said exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to the power that worketh within us. So tonight, we stirring up the power. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yes. All right, y'all. So without further delay, Kim, welcome to the Triumphant Show, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Apostle Sherida. Thank you. I appreciate just the opportunity to be here and in your presence, and then also being able to speak to your people that are here and people who are going to be listening on the replay. I appreciate it. I don't take it lightly that my name is in your mouth. So I appreciate it so very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I am excited that you're here, and I'm grateful. And so I want those that are going to be hearing and those that are listening on tonight, God bless you all, let's find out a little bit about who is Kim, where did Kim grow up, was Kim doing cheerleading before she even thought about all this, So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I'm from San Jose, California. I was born and raised there. I know East Palo Alto, and I have family in East Palo Alto, but I was born in San Jose. I went to private schools all my life, literally up until my freshman year in college. I went to St. Mary's College in LA. It's an all-girl college.
Wow.
In San Jose, I went to St. John Vianney, Notre Dame, all of those. And then I left, and I went to Sacramento. I got my bachelor's degree there. And then I left and went to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow.
I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I got married before I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I got my master's in marriage and family therapy at Oral Roberts University there. I was a member of 2 churches. One is Love Center, and then the other was Higher D, which is the pastor is Carlton Pearson. And so I was there for 8 years, and I worked my then husband, worked for Carlton, and we did too. So we worked at Azusa and all of that. We were in the Word of Faith. So, I've been in church all my life. I started out going to Catholic church. Then I went to Baptist, then Church of God in Christ, then Word of Faith. So I've been in a few denominations, and I'm still yet saved.
Wow. Right. That's it.
Yeah, all of that did not deter me. So I'm still saved. So I now live in I live in Harrisburg. It's like a maybe 5-10 minutes outside of Charlotte. I'm married. I remarried. We've been married 17 years on Valentine's Day. It'll be, yeah. Woo! Yes. I'm gonna keep him. He is fine as all get out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's fine. So anyway, we got married. It'll be 17 years. We have one daughter, Hannah Roundtree, and she's 15, looking like she's 21. And she plays volleyball, all of that kind of stuff, travel ball. And so that's me. I've been an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur for 16, something like that, a long time, full time. And that's about it, where I am right now. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you became an entrepreneur, were you already in the workforce? I mean, there's some of us that are in the workforce. We know we have giftings we're trying to pull out. Were you able to just go right into it and build, or were you before, working at the desk, answering the phones?
Yeah. So I moved to Charlotte, and I worked at Child Protective Services. Okay. And I was in Child Protective Services for 3 years, and it was, I lasted 3 years. Wow. And then I left and I went into foster care. I started being a foster care trainer, and I would license people who wanted to be foster parents. I did that. And then I left and I worked in mental health. Okay. And I worked in mental health maybe about 2 or 3 years. And that's where I realized that I can do better than what my employer was doing.
Wow, come on now.
So I started my own consulting company. Then I was still working full time.
Right.
But I started my own consulting company where I helped other mental health companies get nationally accredited. Wow. I did that. And then I got a partner. Oh my God, that's a whole nother story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Having a partner with
having a business partner that you shouldn't have. You need to be careful who you come together with. And just because someone offers you an answer to your problem doesn't mean that you need to reward them with the partnership. You can give them like a gift card, say thank you, give them a little bit of money, but don't make them partner until you know, no, right?
Right.
So I went through that. But yeah, I got fired from my job in mental health. That's what made me become a full-time entrepreneur, because I got fired. I was doing a great job. The owner of the company, he called me in. He said, Kim, I know you're doing your own thing now. He knew because I was keeping it 100 with him. I told him when I was working there, I have my own thing. And he said, I know you have your own thing, so I think you should just pay attention to that 100% of the time. Wow. So I was like, are you firing me? So yeah, I got fired. Wow. And at that time, I didn't have enough in my head, money. And so I knew that I needed to have 3 more contracts to be doable, because I had a business partner, my second business partner. And when he let me go, I called my husband and he came pick me up. And I think we sat in that parking lot for a minute. And I said, what am I going to do? Yeah. And he said, you're going to work for yourself. And I was like, okay. Okay. I don't even know what to do. Right. So I took it from there and just figured it out. There's things that you do that you make mistakes in and you fail at. And I did all of that. All of it. But I got into full-time entrepreneurship because I was fired. Um,
Oh, I love it.
I mean, I don't think I would have went full time if I if I didn't
Yeah.
get fired. I
No,
don't
I
think I
agree with
would have.
that.
I don't think I don't
It was
think I
a
would have.
setup.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that. And listen, my first year in business, I was scared. I was like, what if we don't make any money? Like I got these 3 contracts. But what if we don't make any more money? Like what's going to happen? And we had just had Hannah. Hannah was, I think, under 1 years old. And
Okay.
so, you know, she was a preemie. She was born at 7 months. So, that formula stuff, that stuff was
Yeah.
expensive. She had to, she had to get that special kind of formula. Ooh, and then so I breastfed a little while. Then I did the formula, but all of that stuff is expensive. So I was thinking, I was adding it up. As a business owner, you count your coins and you count them well, like exactly like how much money is coming in and going out. So
Yeah.
I had to figure out what I was going to do. And I don't want to keep rambling, but it right there around year 1 and 2
Yeah.
of me being full, really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Listen, everyone, if you're just tuning into this show, you've got to hear this show because we just want to keep speaking blessings over your life as God stirs in that spirit of finance, business, entrepreneurship in you. We are listening to Kim Roundtree. She has been in the industry for almost 2 decades. She's talking about her journey from being on a regular job, but being let go. We use the word fired, but it was a setup. Yes, Apostle Gibbs said it was all in God's plan, Sister Kim. You had to get fired to move into your purpose.
Yep.
Sherida Lovelace, my mom, let the Lord lead you. God's plan is the best plan. Be patient and trust the Father. So listen, y'all, if you know there's a gift in you, we're talking about some things and we're talking about the tools that Kim has in her organization, her business. I mean, and I'm going to say has racked up money. I'm going to just and what she does to help you. I don't care what you're in and what you're doing. There's something in you that's gifted. And so I'm excited about this. And I'm excited and grateful that you shared the fact that it was scary. That first year, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? How can I get through, etc. And so as you got into this place, of course, you had to learn and do things on your own. And that's what makes it so genuine and pure. And I love that because you were just being led by what you know and what you understood, Yep. But it turned out for your good. And so with you going on this journey and beginning to work for yourself, and you even talked about being careful of partnerships, etc. If I was to fast forward today of the surge that I see in entrepreneurship, would you say that it is because of what has happened last year from the pandemic, or is there something just going on in our world? What do you see a surge in doing this? Because there's a lot of people that appear to be opening businesses, getting certified, taking classes, doing so much. Where you've been doing this for years and have been so successful of it. What are you seeing happening in the nation today with our entrepreneurs? Because I want to make sure that those that are seeking to get to this level, or if you're working on something, that you all you have a confirmation you're doing the right thing in this season.
Yeah, I do believe the surge is because of COVID and all of the things that's going on.
Yeah,
they're moving more so towards online types of things. So people are figuring out, oh, I can make money online like they didn't know before. I don't know where that came from.
Right.
But you can make money online. When you're on Facebook, you see ads. Yeah. So of course, you can make money. So I think that has sparked an interest. And so therefore people are like, what can I do online? And then not only online, people are creating businesses outside of online. They're brick and mortar, even during COVID. So there's money out there because the government was giving it. I'm not going to say giving it away. Well, yeah, they were giving it away because of the situations that we were in. So if we were smart, we would use that money not only to just live, but we would open up something of our own. That's what, because it was what they were giving was, in my opinion, only because it was substantial. It wasn't what the norm was. So anything above the norm to me is substantial. So we were given that. So now what are we going to do? You have your rent, you have your food, you have the necessities. What are you going to do with the lagniappe? What the extra? What are you going to do with the money coming in? So how about creating an online business? How about figuring out what your superpower is, and then monetizing that superpower. The problem is, though, that I see sometimes there's a lot of people wanting to be entrepreneurs and becoming an entrepreneur. Just because you say I'm an entrepreneur doesn't make you one, right? So you have to follow the steps to become an entrepreneur. And if you have something that you're offering for sale, yes, you can make money and all of that kind of stuff, but you don't have a business until you have a real business, until you have an EIN number, until you have articles of incorporation, until you have a bank account. That's when you have a company. You don't have a company just because you say I have a company, right? I'm a business owner. So those are steps that you have to take in order to get there. So yeah, I do believe that it's because of this season that we're in that we're seeing more entrepreneurs. And there's no quick fix to the whole thing. You gotta do the work. Faith without works is dead. That's literal, and so you can do a whole lot of talking and no work. You can manifest, that's the big word people are using now, manifesting and all of that. You can manifest as much as you want. But if you don't work after the manifesting, then you're not gonna. It ain't happening.
You won't survive, right?
It's not happening.
I'm gonna skip around a little bit because I want to read a question somebody sent. The do's and don'ts in the entrepreneur lane, like the business world. And I know you can't give everything because this is what you do. And we're going to go through, and I'm going to share and have her go through the classes. But the process in terms of that entrepreneurship, like you mentioned, having the EIN number, knowing first of all what you want to do and putting in the work. You know, what are a couple things that you can share with people about in the beginning, preparing this journey as an entrepreneur, the do's and maybe a few don'ts?
So if you already know what you want to do, if you already know what your superpower is, that's great. That's great. If you don't know what your superpower is, this is what you can do. You have to think about it, right? And sometimes it's hard to think about what you do well because we think it's like so against God for us to brag, but it's okay for us to know what we do and we do it well.
That's right.
And it's okay for you to say that. So think about what it is that you do and then choose 3 things, I would say. And then all of us have an inner circle, people that we talk to. Yes. I would send a text to my inner circle and say, don't give them the 3 things at first, okay? Just ask them a question and say, hey, I'm thinking about entrepreneurship. I'm thinking about starting a business. I'm thinking about doing whatever it is you're wanting to do. And ask them, what do you see me doing because you know me as a friend or as a cousin or as a whatever. Ask them, what do they see you doing? Because what happens is we don't see what other people see, right? So we put ourselves in a box and they don't. So they see what we're capable of. And so when they give you back that feedback, don't say no, just don't say no to yourself. When you see things that's out of the norm of what you would do, just sit in it a little bit, just sit in it just for a little bit. Right. And then choose 3 of those things. And then what I would do is the person that you have, we all should have a coach or a mentor or something, talk to that person about it. And then go over what the benefits of doing that business is for you, how it can be beneficial, how much upfront money does it take. In the beginning, if you've never been in business, I would do something where it doesn't take that much money upfront so that your risk is low. So there is a risk to not doing business.
Look at that.
Right. And then there's a risk of doing business. And we forget about the risk of not doing business. So if you don't do what God has given you to do, there's a risk to that. That's what we forget about. How much of a risk is that? What is that risk? And that risk is not just associated to money. It's associated to the purpose and plan that God has for you here on this earth. And so if you don't tap into that and do it, that's a risk. He's given these talents and abilities to us so that we can give it to other people. Right. So we're supposed to be good stewards over that which he has given us. So if we're not tapping into it, then that's a risk. So after you do all of that, and let's say you're trying to come up with your business name, I do the same thing. I ask social media. I'll put it out there and say, hey, yo, I'm trying to come up with this business name. Here's 3 choices. What do you all think? Now, listen to me. I want to make sure y'all hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, listen.
do not worry about someone stealing your stuff.
Look at that.
Okay? Don't worry about someone stealing your name. Don't worry about someone stealing your idea, because it doesn't matter. You can do what you can do, only how you can do it. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of business coaches out there, a lot, but they're not Kim Roundtree and they can't do it like me. So it doesn't matter. Whatever it is you want to do, put it out there. Tell the people, this is what I want you to do. Listen, you all, I don't know. This is what you tell them. I don't know everything. I want you to go on this journey with me. I want you to help me pick out my branding colors, pick out my logo, pick out this. So then you have buy-in from the people that you don't even know on social media, right? So when you do that, then, you go to irs.gov. Don't do that first. Go to whatever state you're in and check out the name availability for your company.
Is that Secretary of State?
It is for some states.
I think it is.
For North Carolina, it's North Carolina Secretary of State, but depending on where you live, it might be something else. So you go there, you find out if your name is available. If it's available, you get your name, right? And then you go to the IRS, and the IRS, you can get your EIN number. Your EIN number, which is your tax ID, it takes less than 20 minutes. You can get it. Okay, so you can go in there and you can get that. Do not get your EIN before you get your name, because if you get your EIN before your name, guess what happens? If your name is not available, then you have an EIN number that you can't use. So make sure you get your name first. So you do all of that, and then you take that information to the bank. You open up your bank account, and there you are. You are an established business. So now what you do from there, that's another story. But that's what you would do. The don'ts would be, do it in that order. Do it in that order. Don't go out of that order.
Don't skip around.
Right. Yeah. Don't skip around. No.
Yeah.
And do ask your people. Do ask the people that's inside your inner circle what they think you should be doing, or what do they see you? What gifts do they see inside of you? Things like that.
Right. This is fantastic information. Family, if you're just tuning in, we're listening to Kim Roundtree. When I say business expert, and whatever level of entrepreneurship that you are at, or even just knowledge or sharpening, there are so many services that this woman of God has that we're just hearing just the tip of the iceberg on this show, to introduce to some and to share with others. Get it going. We have someone that can help you through, especially in these days and times in our nation. So hear loud and clear. And if you're catching the replay, don't worry, you're not left behind. So Kim, I have a question. In this journey of your entrepreneurship, how has this impacted other areas of your life aside from business? Because you have a child, you're married, and sometimes we have people, I think all of us, we make excuses of what we can't do. How do you balance this and keep going, multitasking, being a mommy and wife and having date night and volleyball games and still running a business, making money and pouring into strangers, to help them excel and advance? Share with the people about that so we can know that it is possible.
Yeah. So, my business partner and I, Monica Brown, we, like I said, we owned a mental health consulting company, and we would help a whole lot of mental health companies. Right. And we were thinking to ourselves, hey, why don't we open up our own? Right. So we opened up our own mental health agency. Okay. And we are in North Carolina. At that time, we were both in Charlotte, and we opened up in Louisiana. So people will say, why would you go to Louisiana? Well, the money was good in Louisiana, and the rules and regulations were better than North Carolina. So a challenge that we have as a people is we don't like to read. And so sometimes we have to spend the time in reading. And so that's what we did. We found out that Louisiana was open to private owners, and that, the rates were good. So we did that. Whenever you open up a business, the important thing for you to do is to infuse your DNA into the business. So you can't do that if you're not present. And so we were in North Carolina. Louisiana is we were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I traveled there every week for 3 days every week. And I did that for 6 months. And the reason I did that, and that's with Hannah. Hannah didn't come with me, but Hannah was 3, I believe, 3 or 4.
Okay.
And I had to, because I want to make sure that they have the staff there has Monica-nized DNA, what we believe is important, how we treat our clients, how we treat our customers, things like that. How do we answer the phone and get cussed out and not cuss back? Those types of things. Listen, your DNA is important. And so we want to make sure that the people there had it. So we traveled there every week for 3 days, and I was married and I had a child. It let me tell you, how do I say it? It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't do it how I did it. Let me say that.
Okay.
Because what happens is you're tired, and when you're tired, something goes lacking, right? And it can open the door to things that you don't want open, right? So and we're women in here. If there's some men, that's fine. I'm telling the truth. Before you leave, before a wife leaves their husband for a period of time, you need to have sex with them. You need to make love to them, right? Yeah. So when you're tired,
how can you handle wifely duties?
I'd be like, okay, could you, but I didn't do that. But it was challenging to do it. So what I've learned is this. 2 years ago, I want to say, it might be 3. I told my family that it was for Christmas. I said, my present to them is to be more present. Wow. And I don't believe in balance. What I do believe is being present when I'm supposed to be, because balance, the way that it's presented to women,
that's good right there.
This is my opinion, that it's only to women do we talk about balance. We don't really talk about balance when we're talking to men. So I believe that the important thing is to be present when you're there. So when I'm with Hannah, I'm with Hannah. I'm not on my phone texting, and then she's talking to me. I hear her, but I don't hear her. Right. When I'm on a date night, I'm on my phone. When I'm not spending quality time with the people inside my inner circle that I love. Right. So for me, I had to, and I messed up at least the first 5-6 years. I messed up. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't. I would come home. I would be tired. I wouldn't want to talk to Hannah. I would listen to her, but not listen to her. I would come home, wouldn't spend time with my husband like I should have. And things got bad. And I had to make a decision. Okay, Kim, now I can have all this money and lose my husband. I can have all this money and my daughter is going,
right.
So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I backed off from, spending as much time there. Yeah. Now, the challenge for that is people who are, I'm not going to say OCD, because I'm not. People who don't like to release and let other people do their job. If you're that person, it's going to be hard to do that, because I was there in Louisiana, so I didn't trust the person in the office manager position, right? I wanted to make sure she did it like I wanted her to do it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is important for you all to know. It doesn't make sense to pay someone a salary and you do their work. It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, huh? You're paying them $50,000, $60,000 a year, but you're doing their job because you're micromanaging them. So what I had to do is step back and be like, listen, just do whatever. Know what you're doing. Put your little spin on it. As long as it gets done, I'm good. It took me 5 years to figure that out, to actually release it. Right. So as I'm telling you, don't let it take 5 years for you to figure out to make your family, make your child, make yourself a priority. Don't take the pressure of creating balance in your life, because it'll never happen. That's just not going to happen. What you have to do is be present with whomever you're with, whatever you're doing, just be there then, period. That's what they'll think about. They don't understand that, okay, what I'm going to do on Tuesday, I'm going to be with Hannah on Tuesday. I'm going to be with my husband on Wednesday. I'm going to do this on Thursday. They don't see that. They see you're with them for an hour and you're actually talking to them and having conversation, and you're having family night and you're eating popcorn and you're doing, that's what they remember. They don't remember the days and times. That's what we're stuck on that. And my mother would say we're being stuck on stupid. And it's important not to be. So just be present where you are with whomever you're with at that particular time, including your friends.
My God, this is phenomenal information. Listen, y'all, if you are in business, sharpening business, want to be in business, entrepreneurship is so key in this right now season in the nation, in the world. And if the pandemic did not push you into stirring up those gifts, hopefully this conversation tonight will be a reminder and refresh you and stir you a little bit more, because we want that spirit of entrepreneurship to be released from this platform on tonight, because there's so many of you work a job that you're not 100% satisfied with, or you're in ministry and you're working, you're trying to figure it all out, but you know your passion might be ministry, or you know that part of what you do is that marketplace minister. And at the beginning of the show, I shared a little bit about being gatekeepers in the marketplace, that as we work the gift and get it stirred up in us, we are actually bringing wealth into the places of the kingdom. And so we have an assignment. When you really learn and understand gatekeepers, it's beyond some of the basics that many of us have learned. And tonight we're hearing from a business expert, and we're going to hear how to connect with her and about her programming right now. That we can kind of connect.
Can I say something? You just made me think about something. Please. When you said marketplace ministry, that's a word that people are using. They've been using it for like the past two years now. A lot. I've heard marketplace ministry, and people who are Christians, we use it because it sounds good. But I want to make sure people know what marketplace ministry is. What it is more than just being a Christian and owning a business.
That's right.
It's much more than that. Right. What happens is we're Christians. We are ambassadors for Christ. When they see us, they see him. There are people in the corporate world, people in business who will not go to church, who have no desire to go to church, who really don't have a desire to know him, and they don't even know why. Yes. Right. So as marketplace ministers, us being Christians, us owning a business, we're able to get in the room with those people. Right. And without even mentioning Jesus's name.
That's right.
They feel your presence. When you enter a room, your presence enters the room too. He's with you. So he said, I'm telling you, and I've had conversations with people who are in corporate and who don't go to church, who don't know anything about this. They're wondering, like, what is it about? Like, so Kim, what do you do again? Like, where'd you come from? What do you do?
I just help. Yeah.
They want to know. And that's when that's when the door opens because they see you, right? That's the marketplace ministry part. It's not just because you're a Christian and you're opening up a business. It sounds good, but there's work after that.
Right. And I wish we had a show just on marketplace ministry, because many people don't know about it. I mean, we've been talking about it for years. I went to a conference back in 2006, and that's where I first heard about the marketplace as it pertains biblically, but it's a holistic approach. It's not just I make money and I'm a business. So I think everybody has their variations of when they've heard it and their experience, and it's a holistic approach. It is how we invade territory. It is how we take territory. The kingdom suffereth violence, violence, and the violent take it back by force. That means the things that the Lord has designed and destined us to be here on earth, according to our call and the mantle that has been placed on our shoulders. And so that may mean we have to step into places like I work in state government. I can't walk in the door of state government and be like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. They're gonna be like, come to our office, not our office, but HR. And so and I'm so grateful for your transparency and you sharing this. And I know you all are receiving that are listening and watching, catching the replay, because it is bigger than this. So what we're hearing tonight is even just that nugget that I'm praying is stirring you in terms of what we are called to do. And so Kim, you on top of that, y'all need to book her. Let me just say that. Y'all need to book her. But on top of that, you do several things. And I want to go into, first you have the online, if you can explain the online programs. Listen, I don't care if you all have your businesses now, you want it or whatnot. You can be educated because, again, Kim understands the holistic approach to this, not just one thing or phrase or word. And so that's what I love. Online programs, the Passionate CEO Workshop, and one-on-one coaching. Explain to the listeners and viewers about these three components, which is just some of what you do to help those of us that are walking in that place where we want to be or are entrepreneurs or we need to get better or whatever. Gotcha. Share with us a little bit.
So I have what's called Success University. Success University is an online program where entrepreneurs meet virtually. It's housed in Facebook group. And it's the people in there, they range from ministers, pastors, yoga instructors. Wow. We have people who do hair. We have life coaches, business coaches, people who clean houses, or commercial buildings. Those are the type of people in there. And the reason why they're in there is because they're trying to figure out, other than what they do, what services can they provide? What products can they create? If you have a service, if you preach, if you teach, whatever it is that you're doing, if you don't have products to sell, you're missing out. You're missing out, number one, on money, but number two, you're reaching out on reaching the people. So if you go and you teach and you're preaching somewhere, why should the people have to wait like another year for you to come back before they hear something else from you, right? So if you were to have a workbook or something, an audio book, a book, something that you can leave with them, sell to them, right? Sell is not a bad word. If you were to sell to them, and then they can, ingest that until you come back the following year, or even if you don't come back, we're doing them a disservice when we don't do things like that. So they're in that group, and I teach them how to create products that sell. You can create products all day, but if they don't sell, they're just, what's the point? And the reason why they're not selling is because your people don't want them. You have to ask the people what they want, and then you give it to them. What you're creating shouldn't be something that you want. Oh, you know what? I want to have a shirt that says blah, blah, blah. Well, then you make your shirt. That's not, you need to find out what your people want. So we have Success University. That right there is it's $30 a month. It is reasonable. And wow, I'm in there. I know I tried to make it reasonable so people don't have a problem being up in there. So that's $30 a month. I have one-day workshops where I go to a location. The person that I'm going to, or the host, if they can get a minimum of 25 people there, then I go to that location and I spend the whole day with the group of people, and I teach them a whole lot of stuff, just a whole lot of stuff. I work with them all day. And then I have one-on-one work, people who work with me one-on-one. I don't take a lot of those because it's hard. Yeah. They basically want to move up in my house, but I mean, not literally, but that's how much time we spend together. And I can't take a whole lot of those. I usually take about 3 of those a year. That costs $5,000. One-time fee of $5,000. You get 2 products in there. But other than that, that's all I do. I go around and I speak. I do one-day workshops. I do Success University, and I work one-on-one with 3 people a year. So that's what I offer. I really enjoy speaking and talking to the people in the audience. Something happens. There is there is a transference of spirit when you're speaking to a group of people.
That's
And
good.
I walk in the gift of prophecy when it comes to business. My business acumen is what God uses to speak into other people's lives. And so I do that. I didn't really recognize that I was doing it when I first started doing it.
Sure, which is good.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I was like, that's spooky. You know, I didn't want to do it. But as time progressed, you just kind of, if that's who you are, you just do it. It's not like, stand up, thus saith the Lord. It's more, there's somebody in here who wants to create this, and you were doing this yesterday, and that's how specific it is. So that's prophetic, but if we're talking about business, I'm good at that. So that's what I offer. I really, really, really enjoy it. I am passionate about it.
You can tell.
The passionate CEO came in because I'm a CEO, but I got that trademarked. Now, when you have certain names like that, you want to trademark it so nobody else gets it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love it. I am just overjoyed. And I know just reading you all's comments, I know y'all are like super excited, and just the information is so transparent. It's phenomenal. And we won't even get to the depth of more of what she has just for the show. But I want to ask, is something about the church, how, what is your opinion on how the church may or may not be helping entrepreneurship? Like, okay, I'm going to get real transparent. I read today, somebody wrote something, and they talked about how the reason why there's so many singles in the church is because the church only has maybe a singles workshop here and there. They try to teach you how to be whole, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. But then they say, don't have sex before marriage, blah, blah, blah. So these people, this person was posting their concern, like, can the church be transparent and bring more of this into it? I want to learn, I want to know, but it's not happening. But yet you're giving me these, don't do this, don't do that. I got more don'ts than do. I got more don'ts than here's an avenue to help you. And you just giving me a scripture is not enough. Now, mind you, I'm repeating in general what this post said. So when I think the same thing about entrepreneurship, we may talk about it, or we may connect with, oh, they're in business or whatever, or there might be, we're going to do a business day Saturday or whatever. How can the church better address this topic? Because again, as you said so eloquently earlier, in terms of when we were talking about the marketplace minister, we agree it's more than that. It's holistic. It's part of what we do. And that may satisfy so many issues with how we say, I don't want to get too deep because I don't want no hate mail. Like we're people are in poverty still, or we're struggling, and all this kind of stuff. But where is that spirit where we're really staying behind people to push? Or do we need more people that are experts like you to come in the church more often to do it? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know someone's listening and watching tonight. I know we have some pastors that watch sometimes. What can we tell them about how key this is to unlock not just the fact that I'm going to do my passion, but so much more in my life?
Ooh,
I know. That's what I said when I was listening while you
that's
were talking.
a good one. Okay, so I would say to pastors or people who are in leadership, if you don't, all pastors are not business people. All pastors are not businessmen. They pastor, and that's fine. I think it's great. It's awesome. You can focus on that. If you don't know anything about business, you have to bring in the people that know about business. That's just it. And some people don't like to do that. But this is how I talk to the pastors. At the end of the day, when your people have money, they give. That's just it, right?
That's the truth.
You have money, you give. If you don't have money, then you don't. What helps them give is having the money. And what helps them have the money is having their own business. You will never, ever, ever be rich and wealthy by working. I'm sorry.
Come on.
You're just not. You have to. If you make $100,000 a year, you'll be making $100,000 a year. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Every year until you get a raise or something, right? But if you work for yourself, you are paid what you value yourself at. So you make more money if you're working for yourself. Now, if you work for someone else and you work for yourself, you can do that. Your frame of reference needs to change, where you don't look at your job as your employer, you look at them as your investor. So when you look at your job as your investor, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to work. I'm going to an investment meeting. It's
My
okay.
God.
It's okay. You're not lying, right? It's your frame of reference. I'm not going to work. I'm going to an investment meeting. And that's what it is, because that's the job that's going to fuel your passion. So when you're talking to people who are pastors, you have to let them know that they have to relinquish their reins when it comes to entrepreneurship, because if the people in your church have money, they'll give money. If they don't, they won't. And so that's what I talk about during the one-day workshops. Before pre-COVID, I did a tour. I went to Virginia, I went to Chicago, went to Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am. And I talked about entrepreneurship in the churches, right? I did not charge the pastors a fee to come in. Normally I would, but I didn't want that to be a reason, right? Yeah. So I didn't charge them. I get my money by making an offer from the stage. And if I make money, I make money. I make my money through mental health. I'm not worried about it. So what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to talk to your people about entrepreneurship, let them figure out what they can provide to the community so that they can get paid. So in turn, you can have more money coming into the church. So that's what you have to do. Now, if you don't want a congregation with money, then you can't talk about money or entrepreneurship. I'm just,
no, you can't.
That's what it is. You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
People say it takes money to make money, and it does not. I know that's the saying. You don't need money to make money.
Look at that. Look at that. Come on.
You have to have passion, though, and you have to have the ability to work. Right. You know, entrepreneurs are the only people that I know, and I promise you, it's the only people that I know that will leave a 40-hour work week, right?
Yeah.
To go and work for themselves and work 100 hours a week, literally. Right. You'll work 100 hours a week as an entrepreneur working for yourself, but you left a 40-hour week. Like, who does that? Right. But the people who do that are the people who see more in themselves and want to make more money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to sell our company we sold 2 companies for 7 figures if I did not get fired, and if I did not open up a company, or we opened up a company in Louisiana, and an inpatient hospital wanted it. And we were like, huh?
Wow.
So you never start a company to keep a company. You start a company to sell it. So don't get too tied to the company. Yeah. You can sell it. You can have all of this for this price, right? Yeah. So that's what we did. And you won't be able to get there if you don't step out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm learning so much. Like, I'm stirred. Y'all, if you're listening and watching, are you more stirred than me, or am I more stirred than you? I do not know, but I can't stay on my seat because I'm just super excited, because when I tell you, this is the season that I'm praying that so many of us that have that stir and we just need someone to talk to us or help us birth through some things. It is now. And the timing of Kim coming on this show could not be more divine and better. I mean, sometimes we think that, well, let's just do this and do that. But I tell you all the time, the Triumphant show, we try to divinely assign whatever God said. So thanks to Kim and my sister for connecting and her having the time to even come on for an hour. Kim, tell us real quick about the 501c3 that you have. Because you all, as I said earlier, Green Tree Economic Development Corp, 501c3, training for economically disadvantaged communities. I love that, because I love the community work. I love grassroots work on the importance of entrepreneurship. How does that work for disadvantaged communities? Because someone may be living in that type of space now, So tell us about that.
Yeah, the churches, some churches are, and that's how I get into the community. I go through the churches. Awesome. And it started out because my mother, Lula Briggs Galloway, she passed away in 2008. Yep. Dang. So anyway, she passed away in 2008. And my mother was an entrepreneur as long as I can remember. I don't remember her ever having a job. And that's where I got the entrepreneurship stuff from. So she started a nonprofit for Juneteenth. I don't know if you all know about Juneteenth.
Yes.
Everybody can know about Juneteenth. And if you don't, look it up. But Juneteenth, she started the National Association of Juneteenth, and that was her nonprofit. So when she passed away, I didn't want to have anything to do with Juneteenth. I didn't want to have anything to do with no conference with Juneteenth because I was depressed for a long time. So I took her nonprofit and I changed it into something that I wanted to do. And so that's what I did. I changed it from Juneteenth to the Greenwood Economic Development. Greenwood is my maiden name. And so I changed it, and I changed it, and I'm doing it. I'm going to do what I want to do, right? At the end of the day, she wanted me to just keep it and do what I have to do with it. And so the same thing that I teach online through Success University, the same thing that I teach with in the churches, the same thing that I teach one-on-one, I teach in the area, in the communities that are economically challenged. Because those are mostly women who are not working, women who have children, but they know how to cook, they know how to bake, they know, and they can get paid. I pay $55, $60 for a cake. That you can get paid for that.
Right.
But they don't really think about that. So you try to spark an interest into them so that they can themselves start their own company. So that's what I do with Greenwood Economic.
Phenomenal. Family, if you're listening tonight, I really want to make sure that you connect with Kim. We're going to give her information out. I'm going to let her do it, and make sure you follow her. You may want to partner with a church, a team, a group, a organization to have one of these programs or workshops, because I'm telling you, I just feel that the wisdom is going to be more than what you expect. It's going to stir up that passion and that drive to do more. Some of the topics that she has, I want to see if I can. I think I wrote a couple down. I wrote so much down. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So I wrote a couple down. Y'all listen to these. These are great. One is confidence is not genetic. This is just some of the topics from one of her workshops. Get your mind right. Talking to yourself is a good thing. And here I thought talking to myself was just so crazy, but it's a good thing. But there's more to her reasoning why I'm just reading y'all the topics, okay? Perfectionism. Just another word for procrastination. Come on, somebody. Then also, and procrastination not being real. She'll discuss that, and I'm not going to give away, and I don't want her to give away about that because I want you to book her. How to deal with difficult people without losing your mind, because as you go in this industry, and as you continue to do things on your own, you're going to have to know how to handle people. And sometimes we think we know it all because we're a certain age or we've been around certain people. But there's always room for growth. There's always room to be sharpened. There's always room to hear from somebody else's experience because they may have had it different or somewhere else. I tell you, I think I hear new stuff every day. I think I'm a student every day. I'm a student somewhere. The grocery store, the gas station, I am a student. And so I don't want you to take that for granted. So these are just a few topics that Kim does, but again, she does so much. And I want two things before I begin to wrap up, and you all hang with me because I want to do a quick prayer before we get off tonight. Kim, tell us how we find you and reach you, and tell us how to, like, your website, your contacts, etc. I want to make sure before people pull off that they have this first before we seal this show tonight.
Got you. So you all can go to iamkimroundtree.com. So it's iamkimroundtree.com, ROUNDTREE.com. iamkimroundtree.com. That's my website. You can reach me, just send me an email through there, or you can send me an email at kim@iamkimroundtree.com. You can send me an email. You can call me on my cell phone. Don't call me, just text me. 704-400-5850. 704-400-5850. I say don't call me because I'm usually in front of someone, but I can have a whole full-fledged conversation by text. But so if you send me a text, then I'll get back to you. If you have a question, I don't mind people picking my brain, but you just, at certain time, the picking has to stop and it turns into a fee, if that makes sense. Okay, so I don't mind though. You all can text me and ask questions and I'll answer them. So that's my phone number. That's my website. I am KimRoundtree.com. If you're interested in booking me, all the information is on there. You just click book me and I'm there. I would love to come to wherever y'all are. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my God.
I've been out of the country. So I'm an international speaker. I went to London. That was interesting. My luggage, I never got my luggage. And so I was wearing the same clothes for like 3 days. And I got up to speak and I was in some other clothes that didn't make me feel comfortable. I got them because the people there are small, I'm bigger. So I had to wear these clothes that didn't fit right. So I was telling the people that, and I said, I've been wearing the same pants for 3 days. And you can hear a pin drop when I said that, Apostle. And I was like, why are people looking at me like that? And so someone on the front row says, because pants means panties in London. I was like, oh. I was like, for real? Oh. She said, yes. I said, oh my God. I didn't know that. I said, but no, I'm not wearing any panties. Girl, we were done. Oh. I said, I don't have any. Oh my God. It was the best laugh ever. Everyone, we laughed for about a good 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, that was fun. Yeah. So I'll come to another country. I just need to Google some rules before I go.
Right. Have an interpreter. That is hilarious, but I love it. And you got their attention, I'm sure.
Yes, Lord.
That's a blessing. You all, I am just loving this conversation, and I know our show, we actually have gone over time, but tonight's so worth it. So I'm going to link some of this on some of the social media. But listen, I want to make sure that those of you, just really quick, that are seeking out, strengthening, refreshing, whatever capacity you are in, as stirring that gift in you that God has for you, that's beyond your job, that's beyond maybe your duty at the church, whatever it is. I pray that tonight that something has been stirred in you from the voice of Kim that has allowed you to rethink and refresh your steps and how to go about it. I pray that there are people that will begin to come around and connect with you that can tell you those great things and gifts they see in you, as she spoke of earlier. And so then you can connect with Kim and get a whole group, a team together and have a workshop. The word of God says, commit your plans to the Lord. Commit those things to the Lord and your plans will succeed. And I believe that whatever is in your heart tonight, if you commit it to God, you put it to prayer, that they will succeed if you keep your heart and your mind stayed on him. But at the same time, the same thing Kim repeated to us this earlier in the show was that faith without works is dead. And so you have to put in the work. You have to put in the desire, the discipline and the push to get it done and to get it birthed and to move forward and to allow it to be sustainable. We've got to do more work in our lives that will keep things in place, sustain it, strengthen it, grow it, develop it, and let it evolve to the next. Let it not look like it's 1950 still. Let that business look like it's come up to 2021 or 2022, beyond time. So I pray in the name of Jesus, you've received something tonight. I pray that your spirits are stirred. If you know someone tonight that needs to be encouraged or reminded that God has room for them too, and whatever they have, and that there are resources out there as they venture into their business and their walk in entrepreneurship, that they can connect, they can do it, they can get it done. Send them this show, have them replay it, write nuggets down. Go ahead and send Kim a text. Go ahead and check the website out. We didn't even go through everything on her website. Let me tell you, the wealth of knowledge to me matches the wealth in her pocket, because it's a lot of knowledge out there that she has. So I pray even that there are churches or leaders that are have the heart to be stirred up to allow people that are experts in this industry, such as Kim, to come in and stir up those giftings and to help consistently and continue to help promote and strengthen them in the areas of entrepreneurship. I think it helps, again, like we said, more than just them giving money in the church. It helps them holistically. But how do they get there? What steps do they need? You may know, but they may not know. You may may think they know, but they may not know. So workshops and information like this is the same way we disciple the sinner that comes in and gets saved. We continue to pour into them. We read to them. We feed them the word. We help develop them and grow them in the spirit. And so the same way we do that, we have to keep that in mind in the natural as they live life, as they go forward and do the things that God has called them to do. So tonight truly has been a show of trial, of getting fired, to triumph, of being her own boss, making the money. So Kim, we are just grateful for you tonight. Listen, y'all, I wore my hustle shirt. I don't know if y'all
indeed.
But I wore my hustle shirt on tonight because this is the season where I've been doing some behind the scene hustling, and I'm even more pumped right now to do more and to keep pushing till I reach the end goal. So I'm thankful for it. I pray that those of you that are listening and watching tonight, that you have embraced, that you have enjoyed it. I pray that you will share this broadcast, and definitely please send a message, a word, or something to Kim showing your appreciation, whether it's an email, a text, or anything. I've put it in the chats. But most importantly, if you can get groups together, please take advantage of the programs and the workshop. I am clearly sure you will be blessed. So we are going to wrap up our show tonight. Kim, any final word, nugget, or phrase you want to leave with us?
Let me leave this phrase with you for those people who are scared to move out in something and fail at it. This is what I'm going to say. Failure is practice in motion. Failure is practice in motion. You didn't know how to ride a bike until you learned how to ride a bike, right? You had to practice. That's what your mama would say. Go out there and practice. That's the same thing that I'm going to say with you. Practice. You will fail. Wow. If you don't fail, something ain't right. You will fail. You're going to fail. It's okay. Get it over with. Make a really good goal that you don't make so you can get that feeling of failure out of the way. So failure is practice in motion.
I love it, y'all. Everybody, failure is practice in motion. Write it down, take a picture, remember it from this show on tonight. Thank you, Kim, for joining the Triumphant Show.
Thank you.
Blessing to have you, and we'll probably have you back again because I know there's going to be some more comments and questions that are going to come after, and so we'll see where everybody's at. Maybe we'll do a Q&A. I don't know, and we're going to sew into it too. We're going to sew into it. Y'all hear me?
I'll do it, whatever you need. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's an honor. Well, listen, everybody, that's all the time we have tonight for the Triumphant Show with Sherida Lovelace. I truly thank you for watching. Remember that this is the place that victory repeats itself. I want to catch you back here same time next week with another new and exciting triumphant masterpiece guest that the Lord has ordained for this season and this time. Also, be sure to catch me every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. as I co-host Late Night with Jerry Royce live on DeKalb 25 Comcast TV. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. God bless you. Thank you, Kim, again. We'll see you real soon. All right. Okay. Good night, everybody.